Welcome everyone to another edition of the Smacked Up Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host Will, and I'm joined always by my good friend Martin. How are you keeping the day, big man?
Not too shabby. Raw wasn't entirely pissed.
That's what I was going to say. We actually had a decent Raw. Fair enough.
About time.
It was well overdue. The things I took away from last night was there was great matches on show. Really good matches. Seth Rollins and Sami Zayn was a highlight for me.
Oh, aye.
They work so well together. Down points, that 25-minute opener. I know it was no 25 minutes, but
sick of them.
That opener I didn't enjoy.
Like, however long it is, it always feels like the same length. If they stood out there for 10 minutes, it would still feel like it was forever.
Yeah, I did.
Need to change the format.
I didn't enjoy it. The opening, but what we got for wrestling wise was really good, and the things now hinting towards WrestleMania, past the Rumble, especially for Seth Rollins, I really enjoyed.
What we should be bloody well expecting for WWE. This is like, if they could do this all year, it would be infinitely more watchable, because you know you've got your big event coming and it's going to set up your main event for your biggest show of the year, and that's fine. But they finally remembered that the best part of the Rumble is all these other little feuds that all tie in.
Yeah,
and they've been doing a really good job of that this year, setting these up.
This is the thing, and I wanted to bring up the card for Mania, Royal Rumble. I'm not entirely happy with the card layout. Now, this is a 6-hour show, 2 hours for the pre-show. Right, pre-show. Okay, this is the pre-show. Raw Tag Team Match Championship, Sheamus Cesaro versus Carl and Luke Gallows. I personally believe that should be on the card before the Cruiserweight title.
Absolutely.
I am not interested in Rich Swann versus Neville. I think Neville is the best thing that's happened to 205 Live just now.
Oh, aye.
But I would rather see the tag team champions defend their title on the main show. The other match that's just been announced, say about an hour ago, was Sasha Banks versus Nia Jax.
Woo, there's a pre-show match.
That, to me, I don't know what to think of that when that was your women's champion less than a month ago.
And that's fair enough, because Nia has to learn, and the best way for her to learn is to work with some of the best.
Yeah, but
and you need to keep Sasha relevant.
Yeah. The pre-show, I don't know, should have been held, like, keep a wee money feud going until, like, sort of the next Raw pay-per-view before Mania. You could have done that, it might have worked, but pre-show for a Rumble, I don't know. To me, it would make more sense, like you said, I think everybody else knows it. The rest of the card is looking, it's basically what we all knew, the Women's Championship match, Charlotte versus Bayley, there's no SmackDown Women's title. The WWE Championship match, which could change on the card. This is just what they've put up, so the card could change. But they've got it before the Universal, which I think is bullshit.
Aye, completely. But that's them trying to push Raw as being better.
Yeah. The only, like I said, there's two matches I really couldn't give two fucks about, which is the Cruiserweights and that Universal title.
Well, there was that news yesterday that 205 Live is struggling, which,
it doesn't surprise me.
It's just shocking anyway, because as we've been saying for ages and ages and ages on here, they made a fucking mess out of presenting it and introducing it to a new generation. Neville's been a great boost, but I think it's too little too late.
It's too little too late, mate. They should have just... as soon as the CWC Championship was done, I think 205 Live should have been the next incarnation right away. Keep it to the network. I think it would have got better viewers. Keep it in the NXT arena. You get the better pop, and you'd get the fans would buy into it more. Like you said, the fact that they move it to Raw because they've got to kill 3 hours worth of wrestling, which they have struggled to do no matter what they do, they have bozzed this up. Am I worried about the UK Championship now? No, because it's a totally different format. I think that will thrive better.
Well, that's the other thing. They presented it seriously from the start. I'm fully expecting at least a couple of those guys, probably the boy that won it, probably Pete Dunne, to appear in the Rumble and go for each other.
Yeah, I mean,
because that, it gives them a wee boost. It raises their profile over there. People are going to go, "Oh, who's this guy?" And I think they'll go at it right in the middle of the Rumble and get some attention on it. Interestingly enough, both guys have been pulled from their indie dates here in the UK this weekend.
Yeah, I've seen that.
And you're stupid if you don't.
Well,
as far as I'm concerned.
What I was going to say, because I'd also like to welcome brand new listeners, which is really bad now, so long going through part of the fucking podcast. But me and you, Martin, the channel's been growing. We've got new listeners, and we'd like to welcome you all. The one thing we won't do just now is give our Rumble predictions. You have to wait till Saturday for that. Just to let you know, in case you think, where's the Rumble predictions? We do a pay-per-view prediction show on a Saturday. And then
we very well end with someone dying come the end of the season.
Yeah, we've got another 3 weeks, and we're going to declare who is the Smacked Up Wrestling Champion.
No, I don't think you'll get away with that. I think it's too close.
I've been running away with it, mate.
I think Mania is going to be the decider.
Mate, I think actually this weekend will be the decider. I've got fun. No, mate, I really do. I think because before we go back to Raw, the Rumble, no doing predictions, right? But this Rumble is so unpredictable. Who to pick as a winner?
Was it like last year where Triple H said, "Oh, it's unpredictable"? It wasn't unpredictable last year. We all knew it was happening. It happened.
The worst thing that can happen, and I'm only going to put this in, but this will be not a prediction, but it's a fucking nightmare if it happens, is Goldberg winning it. He's the bookie's favourite. That's not happening. He is a fucking nightmare to win it. The guy cannot go longer than 10 minutes.
Imagine having a 50-year-old winning your Royal Rumble.
Mate,
why would you do that?
Mate, it's a slap in the face of intelligent wrestling fans.
It's a slap in the face to everybody watching it.
So, but Raw they've done a good build-up. I've got to give it to them. They've done a great build-up going into the Rumble, and it's been a while since they've only really done it twice now, where they've sold Raw before a pay-per-view. The last couple of times it was so bad you didn't even want to see the pay-per-view. But unlucky for us, we've got to watch them. But last night was really good. We know some of the stories now they're keeping aside. We know Seth Rollins with Triple H.
Well, aye, but we knew that.
We knew that for a while.
At the start of this feud, basically.
Chris Jericho, Kevin Owens, and Roman Reigns, mate. I think this will continue after the Rumble.
I've got zero interest in Roman being involved in the main event.
I agree. I totally agree with that, dude. I don't want him near it. I don't want him near the championship because you're going to have Finn Balor coming back. I think having Finn Balor go head to head with Kevin Owens would make a much greater story because he was the injured champion. That is the new champion.
This is going back to my wee rant a couple of weeks back where they should have interim championship belts like UFC. However,
yeah, that's WWE for you. But I think that would be a more interesting story. But we're just waiting for when Finn Balor reappears. It would be amazing if he shows up at the Rumble. But we can only.
It's unlikely for him to manage that. I don't know. I mean, he could just be saying that.
He could just be saying that.
Being honest, if he doesn't show up at the Rumble, he's going to show up at whatever the Raw thing is between now and Mania.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what the name of that show is because obviously SmackDown's got the Chamber.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're calling that No Way Out or Elimination Chamber again.
I'd like to see it go back to No Way Out. I always enjoyed it that way.
Anyway,
The other rumour, right? Let's talk about a wee rumour, okay? Because we're seeing all sorts. This week's been brilliant for rumours for wrestling fans.
Of course, it's Rumble week. Because actually, I don't know if this is the one you're going to say, but 5 Star Wrestling's filming its first episode in Dundee on Friday. The commentary was going to be done by Kurt Angle, who has been pulled.
Yes, and so has what was his name? There's another person that's been pulled. Eric
I
somebody.
don't know. Sorry, I was waiting on you there.
I know Eric somebody. I know. I forgot Eric somebody.
Young.
Eric Young.
He's an NXT guy, I suppose.
So, but the one I know the name totally left me there. But the name that is popped up, and then there was rumours online yesterday about the status of the in New Japan Wrestling, and then the autographs with the Kenny Omega hashtag 30.
Trolling.
It's a troll. It's got to be a troll. It has to be
a troll because his contract isn't up until the 31st.
But
he can't appear at the Rumble. He's also booked for somewhere in fucking Chile the same day.
In theory, I think WWE could easily buy that contract out, but I do like the fact that it's a good troll. It's a good troll. Would I love to see him in the Rumble for that fucking massive pop? Aye. I would love to see Kenny Omega in that Rumble match. But it's one of the things, it's a work. It won't happen.
Aye.
I'll be surprised if it does, but if it does, then
if it does,
amazing.
I'll freak out.
Aye, amazing. If it doesn't, it's okay because it's a funny troll. It is.
Aye.
This is when wrestling fans, like, this is our time now. The road to WrestleMania comes Sunday, and we get now to think, oh, who the hell's going to be in the Rumble? Who's going to be in it? And last night in Raw, they're still teasing Titus O'Neil being in it. That was the only bad thing, match-wise, match quality. Well, the match quality was good, but match-wise, I could not give a fuck about. I couldn't care.
There's no excuse for having a bad match in WWE these days.
I mean, you had the great opening match with Cesaro and Gallows, which Gallows won. Proper heel work, so they've got their title match for Sunday, like we already said.
2 referees.
Is it 2 referees?
It is, aye.
Oh, for fuck's sake. But that was a great opening match. Put Cesaro in, get that crowd pumped up. The Cruiserweight match, the tag team one, was brilliant. That was really good. The best match of the night, Rollins and Sami Zayn, their chemistry was brilliant to watch. They two,
fantastic. I want to see more of that.
Yeah, that I would love to see. And the other Cruiserweight match, it was okay. It was okay, nothing spectacular. Just it was okay. But we'll have to wait till Sunday to see the proper outcome of that title, which is going to go to Neville. I shouldn't say that because it's my prediction away.
Yes, I have no idea why this one has that belt.
The final wrestling match of the night, Roman Reigns versus Chris Jericho, I thought was okay. Roman Reigns with Jericho works.
I know, but I'm sick of it.
Oh no, I'm sick of it. It's been the last fucking match, the last 5 Raws, but this is the thing, and we've said it going back many podcasts ago. The champion should be kept away from the challenger. Totally. Build it up for your main event. They fucked up so many times with it, and now they've kind of got it right where, right, okay, a tag match is acceptable. That was normal. And you're having, like...
I know it's like one of the best feuds ever, but it should be the blueprint for how you build something in 4 weeks. Rock and Austin at Mania 17. Right?
Yep.
They were barely in the ring together. They cut a lot of promos. They had that face-to-face one with JR moderating. Whenever they were in the ring, they were tagging.
Tagging, I accept.
until the week before, where after building the tension for the past 3 odd weeks and building it and building it and building it, they finally exploded.
Yeah.
And they went at it in the middle of the ring. They're kept apart on the SmackDown, and they go at it at the end of SmackDown, and then you're dying to see them get their hands on each other.
I mean, for a championship match, should it have closed out Raw? It's a hard one to say. I think if it was a bigger feud, in my opinion, yes. With the feud,
If the match hadn't been done like 7 times.
Yeah, that's. I mean, how many fucking pay-per-view main events now have we seen Roman Reigns in?
Aye, too many.
I mean, he's the face of everything now. It's getting ridiculous how he's getting shoved down our throat. Like we said, we've not got anything against Roman Reigns' workability. It's more the fact that WWE, well, mostly Kevin Dunn, think this is the greatest thing ever since The Rock. And it's like, well, there was only one Rock. You can't duplicate that. Especially when the guy can...
Especially when they're using the Cena template to do it. Like,
Yeah.
no 2 guys in a row have been exactly the same ever.
I mean, and one thing Cena trumps fucking Roman Reigns over is a promo. Last night was the first time I seen him cut a promo.
It's been a while for he's cut a proper one.
John Cena
and
can...
there's a good reason for that.
John Cena is amazing at doing promos. He can do them. As much as if you think you hate his gimmick, I tell you what though, he will be really high in the best wrestler of the year. He's going to be. With the matches he's had with AJ Styles and even the triple threat with Dean Ambrose and AJ, that was an amazing match. But what we're getting now with Roman Reigns, I feel, is it's just right, like him, and there's a Facebook page, funnily enough, called 434. I wonder where 434 came from, and who else has got 434 on their YouTube page. Anyhow, the Hulu thing, right? You had the live broadcast of Raw, okay, and people said that this was last week's. The live broadcast, and the people were there. The boos rang out the place with Roman Reigns.
Aye.
Right? See the Hulu broadcast, of Raw last week with that match. They changed it.
Yes. Of course they did.
So, stop fucking doing it, WWE. We do not care. We genuinely fucking do not care.
See if they were at least smart about it.
Yeah.
Subtle, even, but they're no, they just... Yeah.
Let somebody do it in their own merit. Like, I mean, mate, we keep going back to the Attitude Era and even a part of the Ruthless Aggression Era, but it was done right.
Yep.
You go over on your own merit.
Aye. It's not like these people don't know how things work since they went public.
Mm-hmm. I mean, kayfabe's dead. There's only certain places...
Like, they're trying to be super careful because the company had been public for so long, but what they forget is that it's been public for almost 2 decades now. And for the majority of those 2 decades, the guys that made them the most money got over naturally.
Mm-hmm.
They weren't set up to win. They weren't set up to be the face. They just broke out the pack because of their talent.
I mean, will we ever see a heel Roman Reigns the way things are going?
Nah.
No. I can't see it. I don't see why. And I think, like, say us who, like, we're passionate about wrestling, it does insult your intelligence the way they come across with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I think people should take back and look back, and like you said, like Cena, he was a heel, and the way he done it to get over worked. Then obviously he became the face of WWE. In my opinion, he is still the face of WWE for this era. There's nobody that's going to take it from him. But the way he did get over was natural. It was the same with Austin. It was natural, it just switched. And then he became the greatest face of all time. Same with The Rock. It just happened. Mick Foley was a special case. I think he was one of the ones where it's like an AJ Styles. He's a heel, but you just love him.
I know, but
that was a different case.
He was known for his work over the full decade.
Yeah.
Because people remembered Cactus Jack from WCW, and they probably caught him in ECW based on that, and then he came there, and when you seen in '97 the pop that Cactus got at Madison Square Garden, and you know, he was so likeable.
What do you think, just going like off topic a wee bit, what do you think him going back to that haircut he got after he retired? He's actually went back to that now. He's looking in great shape.
Oh, absolutely. He's tidied himself up a lot. Good on him.
I think what he did last night was actually the best we've seen Mick Foley as GM.
Aye.
Just the two segments being serious, and it worked. That worked. He didn't panic. He didn't look stressed like he has done the last couple of weeks.
But then I don't know if those sections were pre-recorded or not.
If they were pre-recorded, if they were,
I wouldn't blame them.
I wouldn't blame them. But if take it for what it is. So we'll take it as if it was live. I'd say 85% would be live. The fact that he was fine was a good thing. He didn't panic. He didn't botch his lines. We had somebody else that fucking done that right at the end of the night for us. So when we get to him, oh fuck me, am I going to have a fucking law at him? But no, I was happy with Mick Foley last night. Raw did what it had to do to sell this pay-per-view, and they done really well. Really well. I was just a bit disappointed.
Can't believe it never ended with a giant brawl.
Well, that's it. That's what I was missing. Instead, what we got was fucking laughable.
Jesus Christ. I think their combined age is like 143 or 145 or something. Ridiculous like that.
Have them not say anything, I'm cool with that. Not having a go at each other or brawling like that, I'm cool with. But what made this end so fucking horrible was Bill Goldberg.
Why was he bleeding?
Right, okay, I'll explain to you. Because I didn't want to tell you in the message, because when you messaged me saying, how did he bleed? I was like, alright, I'll wait to the podcast. His entrance, when he banged his head off the door.
I never even noticed.
That's what he did. When he does his entrance. And during it all, he kept referring back to, I'm bleeding. And that's how you saying, I'm messing up. He fucked up the entire promo. He fucked it up. And this is what they want to put as possible champion.
Nah, he's not going to be the champion. He's not.
I wouldn't put past him, mate.
And you have an old bastard.
I know. It's like I said, it's insulting if they do. It's insulting because
it's insulting to the wrestlers, never mind the fans.
The
people who are there all year long.
I was listening to a great podcast last night on Dead on Dave, and he had Andre Corbio, one of like the last wrestling reporters, kinda, and he was going into detail about the boys in the back, like the talent who's there every day. So let's take the Miz for instance, right? Talent, it's worked their arse off all the time, and then this 50-year-old comes in and wins the Rumble to get the title shot when you've busted your ass.
Oh, it's beyond demotivational.
The promo was so hard to sit through. Because he fucked it up. It was the same shite, the exact same Bill Goldberg promo we've seen for fuck knows how many years. The blood was comical because he done it himself, and he kept referring back to he knew he'd done it, and it's like, just wipe it away. Just wipe it away. Just don't draw attention. Don't draw more attention that you've done it.
You tell me there isn't a towel lying about ringside next to the doctor for him to wipe down his face?
Yeah. What stopped him? before he goes out to the ramp. Now, his entrance is so long, they could have spent 2 more seconds, 5 seconds most, plaster that, and then he goes out to the ramp with the fireworks.
Aye.
Do you know what I mean? You don't know how long that walk was. It was fucking crazy. Having
Makes it look half-assed.
Paul Heyman saved it.
Just a fucking carny show.
Paul Heyman saved it. He saved that promo.
What he does.
It was brilliant how he delivered. I was shocked to see Brock Lesnar there. I've got to admit, I was a bit shocked, mate. Undertaker, I was more surprised was there. I didn't think he would show up before the Rumble. I thought he would have showed up in SmackDown because he's a SmackDown guy.
Raw needs the ratings.
It's so fucking bad that his SmackDown return promo now.
For him. That's fucking stupid.
That return promo is now laughable before Survivor Series. It is fucking laughable. If that was the point with Undertaker, he shouldn't be put on a brand. He should just be a free agent. That's the way he should be. But this wrestling full time, we've still not seen a match. But we knew because he was not declared fit enough because of the hip injuries he's had. So it's I was literally doing a Bill Goldberg banging my head against a fucking door. It's having the free close it out, like these free top guys, part timers. To me, was wrong.
Oh, absolutely, aye.
It was wrong. I'd love to see how SmackDown's going to handle it. I'd love to see how SmackDown's going to end.
SmackDown must have a brawl at the end.
They must have a brawl. If not, right, something with Cena and AJ to drive home the message. This is the title you want to watch. In my opinion, it is that the WWE Championship. I'm not dissing the Universal because if it was still the heavyweight championship, the WWE Championship would still be higher to me because that was the championship I grew up on. I wasn't a fan of WCW.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's going to be interesting to see. But the Raw was good. It's just that last segment, I thought... I know you're right, mate. They've done it for ratings. They've obviously done it for ratings, but why wait to the very end? If you know Bill Goldberg, Undertaker, and Brock Lesnar are right at the end, fuck, you can just go on YouTube.
Which is why they need to start mixing things up, but they will never bother doing so because people know when things are going to happen. Yet, if they manage to shake up at least the first hour, open a match, then have the promo. More people tune in if they know there's a match opening, though, instead of going, oh, it's just the first half an hour. Stephanie will rip someone's balls off and eat them. Somebody will look like a jabroni. It'll be really boring for half an hour, and then a match will come on. I'll just tune in for the match. That's what's happening at this point.
One thing I do hate, right? I'm fucking starting to hate it even more now, and they're copying UFC and boxing. Is the interviewee climbing in the ring after a match to get the post-match reaction. I fucking hate that. It doesn't work. No, not in wrestling. It does not work in wrestling. I can
understand why they're trying it, because these legit sports do it, but you either save it for post-match for a big, important title, or you don't do it at all. I don't give a shit what Titus O'Neil's got to say for himself after he beats some guy who's somehow lower in the totem pole than him. I don't give a shit.
It's so bad, mate. It's something that they're trying, and I don't think it does not work. It just does not work in a wrestling environment. UFC and boxing is a different caliber. It works, not in wrestling, not in a predicted outcome sport.
And which is ironic given how much UFC stole from WWE's.
Oh yes. Oh yeah. UFC stole fucking hundreds from WWE. And the one thing, apart from obviously Brock Lesnar, WWE stole is this new thing they've done. Do I think it's right? No, I genuinely don't. I don't think it works.
Right, it interrupts the flow of the show.
So
Wrestling's advantage is that you can have these backstage bits.
yeah, that was it.
Remember WrestleMania 30? After the show was done, they had the press conference thing. It was done in a little bit in kayfabe.
Yeah. Remember they done that at 14 as well.
Aye,
That was brilliant.
Totally worked. Use that.
It works.
Leave it for the big four.
It does. This jumping in the ring. Or how do you feel now that the Kevin Owens segment? How does it feel now? This match is a no disqualification. I thought the match was no disqualification to begin with. Just as soon as it's a gimmick match, I'm putting no DQ instantly on it.
Aye.
What the fuck? When did this? This is stupid. This is so stupid. When the fuck did that cage match never become a no disqualification match?
I know, it's like, can you imagine a cage match when you throw somebody into the cage and then they go, that's it, done, other guy wins, DQ. Fuck off.
Yeah, save for talking's sake, that I've got a funny feeling it'll happen. I love Jericho's representation of him in it. A sexy pinata. I'll give you that. I'll give you that one, Jericho. But who's to say, right? Which we've seen in the past, with the cage coming down, and then something happens.
Yeah.
Right.
By the way, see if somebody said, "Here's a shark cage." WWE made it. Go and swim with the sharks. Do you know what I'd say? Fuck off. That thing's just so dodgy looking.
It's so comical. That the fact that now this is, just to remind everybody, this is a no DQ match. Well, come to think of it, I think everybody took on it was a non-disqualification match. How stupid do you think we are? That pissed me off, mate. That really bugged me, because it's like, there you go, insulting our intelligence again, because we knew. We knew. Why would you have a gimmick match as a non-DQ?
Yeah.
That's like having a hardcore match, but the DQ stands.
I know.
It makes no sense. They were only like the nitpicks from last night, and it was more the writing. It pissed me off. But match-wise, it was really good. Highlight, like I said, Seth Rollins, Sami Zayn. The chemistry was brilliant. The pedigree on the outside apron was fantastic. And it was really good. There was no much really else you can say about that match. It was just that good.
I don't really have anything to add.
No, that's really it. I think we've basically covered everything for Raw. I'm
still annoyed that the last thing you see on Raw are two fossils and Larry having a face-off when you've got this roster that have busted their ass all year to try and get this brand split over. And then they go, well, we're not drawing the ratings. Need to take them seriously because you keep bringing back old part-timers that make the rest of them look like fucking jabronis.
Yeah.
And then the ones that you do push, people are sick of them. Shake things up.
SmackDown is they're doing it right.
Everything.
That is a wrestling show.
Speaking of which, they have changed their head writer.
Yep.
Why?
I was a bit shocked when I seen that as well.
I'll tell you why, because they want Raw to be the number one show.
Yes. So
Road Dogg is now in charge of SmackDown. The guy that was in charge, Ryan something, who was the guy that was in charge at NXT and who has been behind SmackDown's revival since the brand split, has done too good a job. Now, unless they're moving him to Raw to work magic on that roster, what the fuck are they playing at?
the rumour I read, mate, now, again, it's a rumour. I heard he was going to Booking.
Like, technically does book already as the head writer.
Yep, that's what I thought as well. So why...
Is he overseeing all the booking along with Vince?
No idea, mate. No idea.
Because that would be a thing.
I would take what you said is more truth, that he's got to Raw. Raw needs better storylines.
He's the only man that can fix it, because he's clearly the only guy there who has a clue of what he's doing.
Can Road Dogg write SmackDown?
He's been working there for a while as... I don't know what he's actually worked on in particularly, so I can't judge this. All we can do is
wait and see. What we can take away is what he's done with Triple H in NXT. And fair enough, a lot of people are saying, no, this is not as good as NXT, but people have got to remember they lost their best talent at the time and new talent had to come. It's just one of those things, you lose your best talent, new talent's got to be made, and now it's getting good again. It's just one of those things. So I don't know, mate. I'm interested to see. I don't think SmackDown will decline. I think the workers that are there are correct. Add in Samoa Joe and then you're laughing. Hopefully you're laughing. You've got that monster.
He's
heel.
One of the favourites for Sunday.
Yeah.
So I don't believe it.
I know. Personally. I know. But everyone will have to wait till Saturday to find out what we are picking. So everyone, thank you for listening to Smacked Up Wrestling Podcast. As usual, leave a like. This was a good one. This was actually really good for Raw. Usually it's fucking depressing, but this was really good. See what happens, Raw, when you actually do a good show? So, as usual, everyone, leave a like in the video. Tell us what you thought of Raw last night. Anything you took away from last night going into the Rumble. Any predictions you've got. You'll see me and Martin's predictions on Saturday. The description below has all information. You can follow us on Facebook at Smacked Up Wrestling. Leave us a like there. You get to see any news or any funny things Martin finds, like the Miz Participation Award, which I thought was brilliant. I'm going to have to print one out now. Follow us at Twitter at SUWrestle. You can also follow me, Martin, at Roddy Massey and at Martin McHenry. All the information's there. Thank you once again to listening to Smacked Up Wrestling Podcast. I've been Will.
And I've been sharing the gift of Martin through the majesty of Twitter.
And everyone, thank you for listening. We'll see you in SmackDown's podcast.
Cheerio.